Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption.
Hey, good evening everybody. Militia Man and Crew, welcome. It's the 13th of May and it is going to be a great day. I want you guys just to know that obviously the news has been powerful. It is all about trade. It's all about the Middle East, big time, but it's all about Iraq too, and other countries. But ultimately, they're going to have an Arab summit in Iraq, in Baghdad, on the 17th, and what we're seeing is precursors, because there's other things going on in the world and in the region. Other countries are having similar type summits, okay, at the same time, and everything's melding together at the same time. So anyway, I'm just going to start off. It says here, Iraq is on the rise economically, and trade with Arab countries is growing. And like I said, it's about trade. It says the Ministry of Trade confirmed on Tuesday that Iraq represents a major economic player in the region, witnessing significant increase in the volume of trade with Arab countries and working to strengthen its regional and international economic role. And that is, it's no doubt that that's what's taking place. It says Iraq's economic role in the region and the world has begun to grow and expand. They're ranking 51st globally and 4th in the Arab world in the list of world's largest economies for 2025. And they go on and say that the $17 billion development road project aims to make Iraq a regional transportation hub. And we all know that. By linking it, the south to the north, which is Turkish border, strengthening its role as an economic hub in the region. He emphasizes that Iraq's move is to strengthen its economic standing by developing trade relations with Iraq and Arab countries, reviewing all previous agreements, and implementing strategic projects aimed at diversifying its economy and reducing its dependence on oil. So we all know that one of the key components for Iraq's revaluation effectively is going to be not based just off oil, non-oil resources. And that's where that support's going to come in to support the value of their real effective exchange rate. Here's another one. It's called the Secretary General of the Arab League. Iraq's been part of that Arab League. I think it goes back as far back as one of the founding members, and originally got started in the 1920s, but I think they really cinched the deal in 1945, real close. Okay. It says Iraq is witnessing major transformations. So the Secretary General of the League of Arab States, his name is Abu al-Het. It says confirmed on Tuesday that Iraq is witnessing major transformations. He says, I'm pleased to extend my sincere congratulations on Iraq's assumption of the presidency of the 5th session of the Development Summit, and we are following the great and dangerous Arab developments in the economic field, pointing out that the agenda of the Development Summit includes important topics. Obviously, there's risk, which is danger. So simple, but yes, of course, all markets have risk in them. It says Arab countries are required to deal with the challenges with the collective vision, and Arab vision must be reached in dealing with unrest. Of course, the Middle East has been full of that. He's noting that, but we thank Iraq for assuming the chairmanship of the Development Summit. And so the Development Summit is what we're going to see. Iraq is in the development process, and the Development Road Project is going to be a beacon of light, I believe. So it's pretty exciting. The Economic and Social Council approves the preparatory recommendations for the 5th Development Summit chaired by Iraq. And this is from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It says that the Economic and Social Council at the level of senior officials approved in its evening session held on Monday the recommendations that will be submitted to the ministerial preparatory meeting for the Arab Summit Development, which is going to be economic and social, in its 5th session. And it's scheduled to be today, Tuesday, in Baghdad, in preparation. So they're in preparation for the Development Summit meeting to be held on May 17th. The session will the session today was held under the chairmanship of Iraq and witnessed extensive discussions before the approval of the recommendations. So they're going to have decisions that they're going to make, and they're going to post those decisions that they've made from this meeting on or around the 17th. It says these meetings are of great importance in enhancing economic and social cooperation among Arab countries and supporting sustainable development paths in the region. I think that's pretty powerful if you think about the collective and the convergence of all the different things that are happening. Okay, it says the Prime Minister in this article. Prime Minister stresses the need to strengthen the mechanisms for the Arab League in addressing economic, environmental, and development problems. It says the Prime Minister, Mohammed Shia al-Sudani, he met with the Arab League, Abu, and it says that, noting that during the meeting, the preparations and final arrangements for the holding of the Arab Summit in the Baghdad capital next Saturday were reviewed, and seeking to make this summit distinctive and successful in a way that reflects Iraq's Arab and regional status, contributes to achieving the hopes and aspirations of the Arab peoples. So it's a collective. They're hoping that this is a success. I have a feeling that if you read the news, you're going to get a feel from the amount of data today. I didn't comment a whole lot in Patreon today. I just, kind of highlighted a lot of stuff so to let you think about that. And I started seeing in our Discord chat room, people were following along with my way of thinking in it. The tone has been really positive, and it's been positive towards they almost already believe they have success without even having it done yet. In other words, they've already done it, and they're just, going through the motions. That's probably how I see it, okay? It says here, now it's the Iraqi trade minister. See the collective, all the different people, the foreign minister, al-Sudani, now it's the Iraqi trade minister. Okay, industrial sector is a strategic necessity. Of course, the industrial sector is going to be a big deal in Iraq. The Development Road Project, they're talking about industrial cities. I think you get the point. It says here that the trade minister, Athir Daoud al-Fureri, he confirms on Tuesday that the Arab countries are facing a defining moment that requires joint work to transfer the Arab economy to a constructive and a productive economy. He goes on and says the Minister of Commerce renewed during a speech the meeting of the Economic and Social Council. This is preceding, what's happening next Saturday. The Arab Economic and Social Development Summit in Iraq's welcome to the guests of the Arab Summit and the Development Summit. The minister made it clear that today's meeting is not just a protocol meeting, but based on joint action. Based off joint action to transfer the Arab economy to a constructive and productive economy. The summit will turn the borders between the Arab countries into bridges of cooperation. It almost sounds like new technology, right? Bridge currencies, fiat to digital, things like that. I don't know. We'll see. And what will it do? It will support the review of development policies in the Arab countries. They keep coming, right? Here's something that's interesting that's connected, but it's not directly to Iraq. But interestingly enough, many of these countries, there's a few articles, but I only brought the one, but they're talking about Saudi Arabia and the United States. It says, among them is the largest arms deal in history. Saudi Arabia and the United States signed $600 billion in investments. The White House announced Tuesday that the most significant deals signed with Saudi Arabia followed a round of official talks between Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and U.S. President in Riyadh as part of $600 billion investment package. And they go on. But they mention, why I bring this up, is because they're talking about $80 billion in joint technology investments from major companies such as Google, Oracle, Uber, and AMD in these two countries, as well as major Saudi infrastructure projects implemented by American companies such as AECOM or AECOM and Parsons, and that's valued at $2 billion. He adds that also includes U.S. exports, which includes gas turbines from FE Vernova, I think that's probably GE Vernova, worth $14.2 billion, and Boeing 737-8 aircraft worth $4.8 billion. So look, it says, the United States arrives Saudi capital earlier today in what they described as a historic Gulf tour. He was accompanied by a number of prominent businessmen, including Elon Musk. I find it fascinating because Saudi Arabia is a major trading partner for the country of Iraq, and they're doing business. They've poured billions of dollars into Iraq, and they're going to probably pour a lot more. So it's going to be fascinating to watch this unravel. It says here that the Arab Summit in Baghdad and joint Arab economic cooperation. It says this is supported by the success of the current government. So the success of what al-Sudani's done in achieving fundamental stages of comprehensive economic, financial, and banking reform, which will be reflected in building a solid national economy and a solid financial and banking sector, as economic indicators indicate in 2024 and the first quarter of 2025. That's good. They reiterate foreign exchange reserves, gold reserves, exceed 100 billion, with a sufficiency rate of 140% to cover the local currency and cash circulation and to cover imports. The recovery of the Iraqi dinar and the relative stability of the exchange rate against the US dollar. The annual inflation rate reached 2.8% and the core inflation rate 2.5%. Those are extremely low, which means maintaining the general level of prices despite the food crisis and the repercussions of the current global trade war. So basically what are they doing? It says they're motivating and encouraging investment companies to invest in Iraq. And what will it do? It will lead to strengthening the financing and investment sectors, especially economic infrastructure projects. They were like literally pounding this stuff home today. It's phenomenal. So here they talk about Baghdad Summit 2025 economically. It says these such events are capable of bringing viewpoints closer, dissolving differences, and stimulating market activity in addition to tourism and other aspects. And they go on talking about sports and all kinds of things. They also talk about Qatar. They talk about other countries. It's fascinating because why? Well, the United States is in the Middle East talking to Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar in the next few days. It says a summit that will be held with participation of these Arab leaders and their representatives. It's a political and economic summit preceded and accompanied and emanating from important events in light of the clear developmental breakthrough that Iraq is witnessing. So Iraq has done what they needed to do, and they're witnessing it. It says, the outcome of the Baghdad Summit will provide our Arab countries with a good platform for achieving economic integration and enhancing cooperation with the regional neighbors and countries of the world, as permitted by the circumstances of each country. As for the economic impact of the Arab Summit in Iraq, it's very important. The fact that the Arabs come today in their entirety to Baghdad to witness the clear urban renaissance that Iraq is witnessing will represent an important message, not only for our Arab investors, but for all foreign investors, and will be an incentive to create a significant investment movement in all fields. Such a movement will contribute to the advancement of the economic sectors and with the start of work on implementing the Development Road Project, which will shorten distances and bring the viewpoints of Arab countries closer. Basically, he's saying that the Baghdad Summit will produce significant economic prospects that will stimulate many developmental aspects in agriculture, tourism, industry, and other sectors. It will also highlight Iraq's pivotal role as a significant economic, political power on both the Arab and international levels. I think you guys can figure that out, that it sounds like Iraq is definitely taking the international stage by storm. And after the 2.5 years or so that al-Sudani's been in power, if you will, has shown that the inroads that they've done, we have never seen before. And this amount of attention that's coming out is support that Iraq is going to join the global financial system. And at the end, I'm going to give you hot news that came out tonight, and we'll get to that. And it isn't completely studied, but I do know communications, and I do know internet, and I do know that it's a tool for cross-border payments. Okay, Awadi, it says Arab kings, so the Arab kings, leaders, and presidents confirmed their presence at the Baghdad summit. So everybody's on board to come into play. It says the Baghdad summit is an embodiment of Iraq's founding and active role in the Arab system, and while holding that, it's holding carries important meetings, most notably the consolidation of political and security stability. He revealed that kings and leaders of Arab presidents confirmed their attendance at the summit. It says that the next Arab summit in Baghdad represents Iraq's restoration of its pivotal role in the Arab system. An important number of Arab leaders, kings, and presidents officially confirmed their presence of upcoming this summit this coming weekend through notices addressed to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Prime Minister. The next summit is expected to be one of the most mature Arab summits in terms of the level of representation and the quality of attendance. It says the Arab summit represents a symbol of the Arab system, and Iraq is a founding member and actor in it. It says Iraq was one of the first countries to adopt the idea of Arab unity since the beginnings of the formation of the Iraq national state in the 1920s, before the League of Arab States was later established as a system that brings together Arab countries to discuss issues. It says the holding of the summit in Baghdad carries important connotations, including consolidating political and security stability, highlighting the maturity of the Iraqi state and its ability to host Arabs, leaders, and kings discussing basic Arab issues. It says the summit reflects the prestige of the state, the growth, and Arab integration, and represents a picture of Arab unity. You guys, that is really powerful information. Collectively, it's fascinating because it is and has been a convergence of all the societal things, all the things that go with it, the national reconciliation that we've been talking about. It has 21 years of work done, and they're at this stage now. And regional reconciliation, you have kings and presidents, and everybody's going to be at this place. Will the United States be there? I would be in some shape or form. Of course they would be. Who are the largest stakeholders involved in this? Well, the United States Treasury, the U.S. Federal Reserve, Bank of International Settlements, the IMF, the UN. The Calcutta system was built by the UN. So you know the stakeholders, they wanted satisfactory results, and I think they've got them. And therefore, that's why everybody else in the region is coming to town. Okay, so here today, Iraq signs a transit agreement for international telecommunications. It says the Ministry of Communications. We talked about the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Trade. We talked about the Sudani's office. And now we have the Ministry of Communications telling you. It signed a partnership with the DIL technology to establish Iraq as a unified transit corridor for international communications. Right? That's international communication. So everybody's going to be on the same page. So let's call it same communication, same level playing field, same ISO compliant telecommunications. You follow the logic? It's massive. So but firstly, this deal is the first of its kind, and it was signed between the General Company for Communications and Informatics and DIL Technology, licensed by the Kurdistan region. It says Minister Al-Yassiri highlighted that the agreement is a strategic step towards making Iraq a global transit hub, competing with maritime routes such as the Suez Canal by offering a safer, shorter, and more reliable passage. But the move is expected to boost Iraq's non-oil revenue and enhance its position as a critical connectivity point between Europe and the wider world. The move is expected to boost Iraq's non-oil revenue and enhance its position as a critical connectivity point between Europe and the wider world. So look, they signed this memorandum of understanding or an agreement with international communications, and I think that entails not just shipping. I think it entails probably communications to have cross-border payments. So we're gonna watch and see how that goes. But this is a very big deal, and I think everybody should be really excited to watch Iraq join the international financial system, because effectively, at the end of the day, that's what they're going to do, and they're not going to do it at 1310, in my opinion. So enjoy. Thank you. If you guys like my content, please hit the subscribe button and like. And again, thank you all for your kind donations, because guess what? It helps me take care of the crew and keep you guys having daily content. So it's great. Enjoy and have a great week.
Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content. Subscribe to the channel or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much and have a great day.